righty, welcome back, everyone. Today, I'm already laughing because I was about to say what we're going to do. Today is Karina and I, and we're going to actually start off our podcast episode with something we haven't done before. And before we dive into today's topic, AI knows a lot about Karina and myself because we use it day in and day out. So it starts learning behaviors. So we're going to do some quick control, but buckle up because just like in Hollywood, we're going to do some roasts here on the episode that are done by our lovely AI assistants. But Karina, take it away into quick control and we'll dive in.
Okay. All right. I am actually still dying over this roast that ChatGPT. I thought we were very close, and I am second guessing every decision I've ever made with ChatGPT. But here we go. Kate and I are super excited. We are going to be in Chicago for the Business Growth Strategies. It is June 11th and 12th. We are doing a business growth series workshop called Are You Doing? It's the ultimate growth hacking workshop. It's not your average panel or presentation. It's a hands-on, high-impact session focused on one thing, helping companies grow. It's going to really assess what's actually driving growth and what's holding it back. So we're going to also be focused on that framework, ARE. What are you doing, right? So acquisition, retention, and expansion. So please do sign up. Come see us. We are super excited about it. June 11th through the 12th in Chicago.
It's going to be a fun time.
Yeah.
If you're not going to be there, you will miss out. That is a promise.
Yeah.
So who doesn't want to spend time with Karina and myself and many others that will be there?
Seriously. ChatGPT apparently, because it hates me.
Yeah. So
Unreal.
let's dive into this. So real quick, some backstory. We do a developer hackathon every once in a while. We were down in St. George, Utah last week. We fly our developers in, and we're just hacking away. We're staying at a vacation home, and usually when you get a lot of developer-minded people all together, you start pushing and testing things and getting creative with AI in today's day and age. Well, one of the things that happened one night was our development manager, John. He said, "Hey, let's have ChatGPT roast us individually." And so we went through, and anyways, it was so funny. So I just made Karina do it. Because I was like, hey, just say, hey, based on what you know about me, this is the prompt that you put into ChatGPT if you're a heavy user. It says, based on what you know about me, roast me hard. And usually ChatGPT is a little soft, so you got to tell it to go hard. Anyway, so instead of two truths and a lie, which we would have had with a guest today, we're going to share a couple of these funny, pretty direct roasts.
Super.
So, Karina, do you want to go first, or do you want me to?
No, I'll go first. Okay, I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's actually hurt my feelings. No big deal. Just kidding. It was hysterical. Okay, so it said, you're the kind of person who asks for a roast and then edits the feedback 15 times because the phrasing wasn't sharp enough, the font wasn't elegant enough, and God forbid it sounded even remotely like a bullet point. You're not a CPO. You're a compulsive perfection officer. You don't just review a presentation. You rewrite the entire strategy, redesign the UI, rewrite the emails, and schedule the damn dinner. All before lunch, which I don't know if that's an insult, but I'll take it. So your prompt library is longer than most people's resumes. Meanwhile, you won't even use the word streamline because it gives you the ick, but you will redefine the digital heartbeat of an industry like you're dropping mixtapes instead of tech roadmaps. Amazing. And let's not forget your idea of simple design involves 3 Figma files, a branding manifesto, and a product vision that could make Apple feel unprepared. I mean,
that's kind of
unreal.
A compliment.
I know that one also feels like a compliment, but the first one, the CPO, your compulsive perfection officer, that one hit hard.
That one hurt.
Right there. Okay, I want to hear yours.
All right, so I have a bunch, but I'll choose 3 of them. So one of them is, you're out here acting like you're revolutionizing commercial cleaning. Bro, you're building a spreadsheet to tell janitors how to not lose clients. You didn't invent a growth framework. You just rebranded common sense with a drop-down menu.
Oh my God. The bro.
Bro, you probably tell people you're in business optimization because saying, I make graphs for people who clean toilets doesn't slap well on LinkedIn.
my God.
Here's here's one. You out here selling hope in a PowerPoint. Martin Luther King had a dream. You have bar charts. Don't compare.
You have to do the Moses one. Please do the Moses.
This one was good. You're out here preaching revenue levers like you're Moses with a Swiffer, descending from Mount KPI, talking about churn and account expansion like it's deep theory. Bro, it's not rocket science. It's customer service. It's don't piss off the guy paying you 101.
Oh my gosh, so good. I feel like yours was way meaner than mine, but hysterical. Hysterical.
My first set, I then had to say, nope, go harder, be more mean.
Okay. I think I'm going to do that, but in the privacy of my own home. I'm going
right.
to later.
Like, I'm not going to share those.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, we literally, it's very few times where like I'll laugh so hard I start crying. And that's what we were doing as developers. And then we'd get back to work and be like, all right, let's actually go build real software.
Yeah. No, but that's such a fun exercise. Like I just saw the update Saturday or Friday that was like something basically like, let me tell you what I think of you or something. So I did that, but it was like all nice.
Yeah.
Nothing mean. This is way more fun. I'm going to have all my
because, you know, there's some truth to it. It pulls into like what you're weak at and you're just like, ouch. But that was funny.
Yeah, so funny. Okay, but maybe you know what? Maybe the reason why it was kind of nice to me is because I am really
nice to it.
Oh my gosh. Like everything I say, I'm like, thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day. Seriously, I talk to it every morning and I will say like, oh my gosh, that was so helpful. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Or like, I don't know. I have a relationship with it. Like I need to give it a name, proper name. You probably yell at yours.
I literally, it gets something wrong. And I'm like, nope, do it again.
Nope. And that's why you got bro. That's why you got bro.
That's why.
Mine was like, Karina, sweet
That's
angel.
so funny.
Amazing.
Well, all right. If you're listening and you haven't tried that, that's a good Monday morning laugh. So
yeah,
and any day laugh. So, but speaking of today, and what we're going to talk about is AI, and our topic specifically, and what we want to dive into in a semi-brief conversation is maybe help inspire how AI is being utilized, not only amongst customers that I've interacted with, but just what we hear from stories from other people in the industry, and just really help perhaps inspire you as a listener to go try a couple things. And to kind of back up before we say, like, what is AI? If you were to truly sum up AI, what would you say, Karina?
That's a good question. I think AI in its simplest form is meant to enhance or empower. Obviously, human intelligence is the kind of the driver behind that, but AI, artificial intelligence, almost enhances human intelligence in my perspective. I found myself really unpacking a lot of foundational principles that I have never really been able to articulate well, and then having like a sounding board, and especially because I write a lot for branding and strategy, and just being able to I love being able to think through different words and articulate a thought, a message, an emotion. And so for me, it's improved my vernacular. It's allowed me to see things in a different lens. And it's actually allowed me to expand the normal narrative that's going on in our industry. Not just like innovation or AI. Like I can think through so many different facets, and I don't know that I would be able to without that resource.
Yeah, it's like I attended a workshop several weeks back about LLMs. So that is what like ChatGPT is. If you didn't know, all of these Grok, they're language learning models is what it stands for. And what AI naturally does is pull the most popular, the most insightful thing that it can find on what your prompt is. And so AI is just literally a reflection of what it has learned. So usually we concoct up this like, oh, it's creating out of thin air. It's just like, no, it's based off of the fact that it's had those inputs from somewhere. It's gathered that data.
Right.
But the interesting thing is that what we're going to talk about today a little bit is you can't just go ask AI generic questions. Otherwise, you get generic responses.
Answers. Yep.
And so AI in today's form, most commonly, you have to be really good at contextual clarification for it to be powerful. So let's dive into what today's topic on like what ChatGPT, not just ChatGPT. ChatGPT has become like the Zoom of like meetings. It's like, hey, do you Zoom it? You're like, I'm actually not using Zoom. You're like, you know what I meant.
Yeah,
right. But ChatGPT is the obvious dominant leader, but what it means for a janitorial business, their organization. And hopefully today's conversation gets some brain waves moving in a way that like people are like, wow, it's that easy or it's that simple. I haven't thought about it that way.
Right.
So, Karina, where would you want to start when we're talking about AI?
Well, so this is what I love about AI. And I'm going to push myself to think outside of the ChatGPT, right? Because I think that's always, to your point, common narrative. Things like Lucidchart, right? Like, so I was on Lucidchart the other day and I was working through a diagram for a client of mine, and I was getting stuck with the visual part of it. Like, I wasn't happy with the way that it was being represented. And so obviously they have an AI plugin, and I'm talking through it with the AI within that platform. And slowly it started to really take form. And I'm like, yep, now that makes sense. From a operational perspective, one of the things that I really loved about artificial intelligence at Pioneer was that you saw a team member or a department, if you will, really increase their confidence because of AI. And what I mean by that is they started to translate messages or emails and quickly respond to customers, when oftentimes that language barrier is really difficult for them. And not only is it difficult, but it takes them a while to respond. And so you just saw this incredible boost in them and being able to effectively communicate the message, delegate the message, right? Because they're kind of the broker of that. And so that was something that was super inspiring. And then when I showed them how to actually speak to it, then it was just like, it's a game changer. So that's something that I think is, it's almost like your own journey in a lot of ways for the frontline team members. But as leaders within the janitorial space, if we can show that to those team members and let them feel comfortable in their native language, whatever it may be, and they can still use it. You don't have to speak English to use any AI tool. It's completely free. No.
Yeah.
Edit that part out.
Well, within reason.
Yeah.
But like the fascinating thing, like we've just had this experience. So we just launched like frontline translations, real time, and we ran it through and built it through OpenAI because it's one of the best translator models out there now. And the fascinating thing is, this is the fascinating thing, and this shows sometimes the disconnect that exists between leadership and frontline. For years, we've been told, that's not a big feature. Right. We were listening to the leaders. They're like, nah, they get it. Like, things happen. And it's amazing when we dove in, the word you just spoke, confidence. Like that piece for someone not to worry about, like, I misunderstood. Because we have stories where people got in trouble and they misunderstood what a word meant. Right. When they were given an assignment, and like something so simple that we sometimes think about has an amazing impact. And that's existed before AI, but AI makes it way easier to access just because a tool, that's the best part, just because a tool does or doesn't have it. Like you could literally go talk to ChatGPT to help you understand. And even if it was given in a way that wasn't understandable, then you can ask for a clarification. Well, what may that mean? I'm not understanding that, even when it does translate it. So that's just, man, I love that. Clarity is king. My COO, Samuel Clayton, that's like his slogan tagline. He's like, I'm going to write a book called that one day.
Clarity is king.
Clarity is king. He's often referred to in his old glory high school days of King Clayton. Stop. Because he was prom king. And other things. Clayton. But he's amazing. Anyways, but clarity is king.
Every time I see him now.
Just, what up, King Clayton?
King Clayton. What a bow.
Anyways, but the other one I thought of is just like administration of a company. You are dealing with, you're the central communication hub, and beyond language barriers, communication in and of itself in the same language, often people have emotions, people miscommunicate,
Right.
and then we get in this spiral of feeding into bad communication or lack of clarity.
Right.
And if you were to pull in ChatGPT to be like, what questions am I not asking here? Or am I responding in a way that uplifts, motivates, and inspires while correcting, maybe the team that needs to be communicated to?
Yes.
Like ChatGPT can do that. And these are oversimplifications
Right.
of what AI could do today. There are way more advanced technologies that maybe we'll get into towards the end, but we're still missing the simple stuff. We're often, unfortunately, in the cleaning industry, we're the laggers of technology adoption. So
right.
This might be the revolutionary mindset topics right now.
Yeah.
But it still matters. I use it daily in that regard. I express a frustration, and it.
So what
up.
exactly are you using? Let's go through your roster. What's your roster for AI? And then I'll tell you mine.
Obviously, ChatGPT is a dominant one, but I also use Grok in other categories. Just because I don't lean in necessarily to one AI tool. If another one finds a different pathway or different research, I just try and keep a different perspective. Models that are trained differently could produce different results. And then when they're both in alignment and it both finds certain things, then you can have a lot more confidence in the response as well.
Okay.
You play AI against each other.
Yeah.
Well, ChatGPT said this. What are you going to go verify? The other in just our
That's
business,
why you got roasted, by the way, because it's listening to you and it doesn't like it.
Yeah,
it's so mad at you.
Doesn't like I went to Grok to go answer other questions. You traitor.
Everything.
Right. But that's a big one. But we have design tools, and honestly, it's not necessarily new tools. It's tools in the market today understand that AI is needs to speed up certain aspects. So you just start seeing AI features come out in actual products that you use day to day, and we just try and capitalize on those.
Right. Same. I think I always toggle between chat, obviously, Claude. Claude I like to do for a lot of marketing and branding stuff. I also will use Gamma, Discord, Midjourney. I use a lot of the AI because I design a good amount. So on AI, not AI, Illustrator and Photoshop, I'll use some of that to quick fixes. And then Copilot I started playing with a little bit just because I've been doing a lot on Power BI and I'm trying to get a better understanding of it. I also, within Excel, there's an AI tool that I plugged in because I like to look through and build out macros. So many budget databases and trying to expand on that. So I'll do that. And then there was one other thing that I was going to tell you. Okay, this is every time so Zapier too also has a lot of stuff that I do, but every time that I'm curious about a new tool or I need some sort of AI tip, I always go to TikTok. That's my very first place that I'll be okay, what did I do the other day that was top 5 prompts for ChatGPT. And then it's boom, boom, boom. I love TikTok for that. I don't go anywhere else. I won't even go. And actually, so on LinkedIn, I have saved a bunch of groups and companies that are coming out with prompts. But for something quick, digestible, to point me in the right direction, I will say TikTok is my number one.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
The level of being a resource for learning that TikTok is becoming.
Yes.
Competing with the level of usership and learning amount for video, because that's what TikTok is video. Competing against YouTube. And YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world, followed by its own parent company, Google, because Google owns it, being Google search. And that's what keeps it at the top, is because it's paired with the best search engine in the world. But TikTok is, when I had employees one time to oh yeah, I just searched that on TikTok, and I was to watch someone dancing, this was years ago. And it is not that anymore. I mean, that stuff still exists, but as far as the amount of business knowledge and business insights and experts that are appearing there, it's amazing.
Well,
So
it's
go
15
search.
second clips, right? And like it'll
Yeah.
tell you really quickly how to do a macro or do a prompt or do this. And
Yep.
it's like, okay. And if you want more, you go to the page and you start like drilling in. But I love being able to see where like the mindset is changing. Like the other day I started using ChatGPT as a search. And not actually, it wasn't a search. I was in Target and I was debating between two products. And I almost went to Google and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to chat. I went in and I was like, I'm debating between two products. Tell me pros and cons. Boom, it spit it out.
Yep.
And then I was like, okay, give me the top five products in this other category. Boom, spit it out. And then this past weekend, I was in Home Depot, lost, of course, and I was trying to figure out how to do a new shelf in my closet. So I opened up ChatGPT and I asked it. I'm still literally standing at Home Depot. I have no idea what I'm doing. Can you please point me in the right direction? Spit out less than 20 seconds. I was like, it even told me what aisle to go to. It's like, you
Nuh-uh.
need to be, I swear to you, I was like, where have you been all my life? Like,
Right.
what?
The the thing is that anything, and this is so important for marketing your cleaning business, guys. If ChatGPT can't learn about you
Yeah.
in the future, no one's going to learn about you.
Right.
Like there's this whole new wave of marketing. Go look it up. It's not SEO, search engine optimization. It's generative engine optimization. Like you have before this was crazy. So we did this test like a year ago when it first came out, and it was just like, hey, go research top janitorial softwares for me and tell me pros and cons. Guys, it literally does the research for you,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Right.
And luckily, this is kind of funny. two of you appeared and Clean Intelligent. We're like, that's funny. We took it
Eh.
too. Like, but it still
That's why
hadn't
we
caught
did
on to
that.
the rebranding. but like that is so key. And if you aren't writing and understanding marketing to learn how generative AI can do the research on your
Right.
website about your business, online reviews, like you won't show up there. Karina just was in Home Depot and didn't rely on Google. Like
Yeah.
AI knew which aisle it's on because Home Depot has
Yeah.
massive amounts of data on the web that tells all of that stuff.
100%.
So like these inputs, this is where AI is, again, based off of inputs. And if you aren't existent online, and I'm talking more than just, oh, we have a quick website for a lead form,
Right.
you will be left behind because AI is not going to, it's not going to recommend you. If I'm local, it says, hey, I'm downtown Chicago. What are the top 5 commercial cleaning companies local to me that I should look into hiring? It's going to go based off of the data it can find from actual user reviews, and like it's going to go search social media. It's going to search Google reviews. It's going to, if like in software, review websites like Capterra and G2, like these things that would take hours and keep people from truly diving in to do research.
Right.
And they just stick with a Google search. No, they get all the benefits of the research by the same prompt now in ChatGPT.
Right.
Like people need to be optimizing for
100%.
GEO, generative engine optimization now.
Ooh, did you just coin that, or is that a real thing?
No, that's what people are calling it. You're like,
smart.
just on the fly, Caden.
It's on a roll thanks to ChatGPT. No, I mean, I think that's so. One of the things that I still consistently hear is like, but I don't want it to think for me, and I don't want to lose myself, and I don't want. And I'm like, you guys, you're not losing yourself. You're just expanding. And if you're not doing it, I just think that gone are the days of digging your heels in the sand and acting like you don't need it and you don't need to
Yeah.
use it, and it's going to go away. Because I will tell you, of the 5 platforms I have on my screen right now, all 5 have AI on them. They've all rolled out a new AI feature, Lucidchart, Salesforce, Discord.
Yeah.
They all have them. And so if you don't know how to leverage AI at this point, you're doing yourself a disservice and your company, honestly. And I love that you said earlier when we were talking about this, you were like, our employees have to use it. Like, it's not about, because remember before, everybody was like very scared to admit that they were using it. And so
Right.
now companies like Otuvia does a really good job of like being innovative, is like, you should be using it. Please use it. Like, if you're not using it, why aren't you using it? And I will be the first to say, like, I wrote this email with the help of ChatGPT. Like, instead of taking 3 hours, I use ChatGPT. I'm happy to show you what prompt I did,
Yep.
but it saves an enormous amount of time. And if you think through, like, one of the things I always struggle with is like work-life balance.
Mm-hmm.
And I've found that it gives me an enormous of time back from a personal perspective and a professional perspective. Like the fact that I was at Home Depot, I'm prompting instead of going on Google Chrome or Google and like trying to sort through that, quickly gave me information. More so like I had taken a picture from my Pinterest board and I uploaded it and I was like, what wall color is this? And then boom, it spit out
Yeah.
like 15. I'm like, what did I do before this? Right? Like,
Right.
this is incredible.
Yeah. Well, it's another fascinating point is the opportunity for self-help and growth.
Yeah.
So, I'll use this as an example in sales. So, personally, I think sales is one of the hardest jobs in the world. It's the constant grind of feeling like you have to own your own segment of the business, handle the rejection constant,
Yep.
right? In any industry,
Yep.
to constantly be turned down when you know
Yes.
that, and it's, if you want to be an entrepreneur, it's got to be the backbone of you starting a business. You've got to own sales as well.
Right.
So this technique, often we fly at the seat of our pants as entrepreneurs when we first start out. And we probably don't invest as much as we should in coaching. Well, specifically in the sales methodologies of the world, I'll use the Challenger sales framework as an example. If you're a sales leader for a commercial cleaning business and you don't have a sales methodology framework for consistency to train all your reps, guess what? ChatGPT could go build that in an afternoon.
Yeah.
Like you could literally go build that. Say, start with the prompt of, there's way better prompts, but like, I'm a commercial cleaning business and we function in this way. Tell me about the typical sales methodologies that we should look at implementing. It'll go do the research and help you relate to them more. But specifically, I want to talk about real quick the individualism of what ChatGPT can do for employees. Imagine you have a sales rep that you provided a built out like GPT for, where you gave its knowledge. You fed all the PDFs to it for company domain knowledge about your best practices, your rules, your policies, all of that. And then because usually your internal interpretation of sales methodologies suck, you can also then go to the internet and say, hey, find best world-class sales methodology on Challenger Sale and fuse our company knowledge and that methodologies together. And then you literally go give it to your sales rep and you say, and everything should be recorded. Like if you are in person, okay, here's the thing. And I'll preface this. Zoom does it automatically. Like you have to give consent for recording and all of that, right? So it's really easy. You're in a digital landscape. I get it. You're not going to be in that way in the commercial cleaning industry. And so you use this.
What is that?
This is an AI voice recorder when you're in person. Yeah. So it's called Plaud. I'm not paid to mention them. Plaud.AI. It's a literal device. Now, technically, you could pull out your phone, go through a voice note, but this is just so much easier. It's like a zip tap. Anyways, you got to remember to give consent. We live in a day and an age of consent, right? If you're in a conversation with someone, you're like, hey, do you mind if this is being recorded? It just helps me optimize notes and all that. And it plugs into the best AI models like Claude and GPT. Anyways, but go make sure you have that as a sales rep. Even if your company, here's the thing, even if your company will not invest in it and they say no, go make the expense. A couple $100 for the device and then a couple $100 for the annual subscription. But here's what it's going to do for you as a sales rep. You're going to be able to walk into a proposal, record a client interaction. Everything that is said is recorded. And then the transcript is already in its AI tool. And you just still go start asking questions. Where could I have improved? What mark did I miss on the pain points they brought up that I never addressed? All of those things. Like no one, honestly, in today's day and age, we're still in the adoption phase. But in 5 years from now, no one's going to have the excuse for bad follow-up, missing pain point delivery, customized proposals, bids that are very tailored to that, like no longer templated garbage that everyone knows was just mass applied. Like the level of personalization that you're about to be able to access because of AI is going to be unreal. So sales reps, go get Plaud. I'm sure there's other technology out there.
I
I should,
literally just went on it.
yeah,
Unbelievable. I have a hard stop at 11, by the way. No big deal.
yeah, but
Why didn't you
what,
say that during the AI thing? I was
yeah,
like, this is incredible. I have no idea. I never knew that. So I've seen these little guys, like the things that are on the phone, but the wrist one I've never seen. I'm like blown away.
yeah,
P L
wearable
A
technology.
U D.
Plaud, yeah, Plaud.AI.
How come I can't see that? I can't find the band though.
I'll send you. It's called Plaud Note is the actual
Okay.
device. But yeah, so we've talked a lot. Hopefully, you as a
Yeah.
listener have found some insightful things today to like just go and try. But the reality is you just need to give
Do
yourself
it.
time to go try. We do
Yeah.
AI Fridays at O2B. It's a 3 hour block, and unless there's an emergency, everyone has to be in AI and exploring. That's 3 hours per week. Like that may seem like a lot, but I promise you, if
That's
you
so
aren't taking
cool.
the time to go play with what's available out there and go push yourself forward, you will get left behind.
Are you guys hiring? No big deal.
You're like, I could just keep doing what I'm doing and get paid for it.
Yeah, amazing. I'll move. I'll move to the West Coast. No big deal.
Right?
I'm
No, we're
telling
all
you,
remote.
2B is incredible. You guys are doing some really cool stuff. I love the developer hackathon or whatever you called it. That's so cool. The roast is cool. I love that you lean into it. Like, I think that that is such a smart it actually it also speaks to employee well-being to me. Like you're trying to grow them professionally, you're trying to help
Yep.
them work-life balance, all the things. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Okay, well, that's a wrap on today's episode. Hopefully, you learned about something that was caught, not necessarily taught, and you go take action. That's it for today. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Toodles.